Hello guys, so uh, right now I will discuss the topic about the the variable of C programming language. So this tutorial will uh, have a discussion regarding the definition of variable, the short definition of variable, and then we will try to create an example of variables. So are you ready? So since you have, you are ready already, I guess. So let's discuss the topic, the definition of a variable. So a variable is a kind of a name of a storage where your values are stored. So it's just a name. It's just a name of the place or the area where you have stored your things or your belongings. And then it's like when you go out to the mall and then you have plenty of baggages, and then because of it's heavy, so you will put it on the baggage counter, and then the baggage counter personnel or crew will give you a name tag, and then you will save the name tag, and then the other one is in your baggages. And then if you will go back again to that baggage counter because you are already have bought or have went to the store that you are trying to go, trying to to find some things that you want to buy. So that's the time that you will give to him the name tag or the code of that baggages, and then he will gonna find that one, and then and when he will find the name tag in that baggage counter area, then he can be able to see and to get and to give to you the items or the baggages that you have saved or stored in that baggage counter. So that's what variable is. It's like that. The name tag or that is being pinned in that baggages, and those baggages means the name of the variable. So that is a variable. So you get it already. So and now we will gonna create a file that that can be that we can create a variable and then call out the variable, and then say to the compiler that we will store that value, and then we will retrieve that value and then print out that value. So let's go, and then let's go in here. I will just open the folder, and then here we will gonna find the C coding folder, and then we will create a new, and then let's try to create a folder which is a variable. So that is the name of the folder, and then we will select this one and then click this one, the select folder, and then after that you can be able to create a new file for that. And let's try to find if there is a C, and since there is no C, just click this one and then select the language, and then go in here and see. So as you can see that it's a C programming format file, because there's a capital letter C which has a color blue in it, and that means that it's already can be read compiled in C compiler. And then we will save this one as a variable C sample variables sample var, and then do not forget that you have to put that C on it and since it's the save as type, data type is already .c, so it's okay already. So just click it's a save, and then that's one. That's it says sample va.c. So let's rename like this one because it's wrong spelling. Some var. Just I'm gonna shorten it. So that's it. And now, since we are in C, so the C programming needs a library, which the library is, as I have discussed in my previous tutorial, it's include stdio.h, and then we will create a body where we will let it run. And this one in main, it's a function, and then built-in function, and then we will create inside this one function, we will not forget first the return value because we need to return something, because it's we have never put a void inside this one, so we will put return 0 through that. So right now we will create variable, and the first variable that I am going to teach you is the char or the character. In character could be composed of single letter or composed of many letters, with what we call string. So that is a character. So how can we create a character? So how to create a character is easy. So we can just type this one as char, and then after that we will name the name of the char or the character as, for example, a letter, since we will create a single character only. So if you will create a single character only, we can it's okay already that we will never put a bracket on here, just like that one, because it's a single character only. So when you create a single character, you can put a declaration just like this one, and then just type again the letter, the name of the variable, which is the letter, and then put a single quotation, and then the value of that variable, which is a single letter that has the name of a variable, which is a letter. So let's try to print this one, and then printf, and then we will create a phrase on this one, which is the value of letter A is percent. So this percent means that you are trying to call out the value inside of that variable, which is the value is a character, and if it's a character, we will put a letter C after the percent symbol, so that he can be able to understand that, oh, it's the value, the type of the value inside of that variable. So and after that, you must to name again, to name also the variable name that you wanna get. We all know that the value is inside of that is a character, and then there is a second, what they call this, checking that the one that we are calling is really the right variable. So if one of these two does not meet the correct type or data type of that variable, then it will not run or give an output for us. The compiler will never provide an output for this. So we will call now the variable letter, and then print that one, and then return 0. And after that, we will gonna alt control N, and then let's see if it's working. So as you can see in here, it says here that the value of letter A is A. The letter of letter A is A. So let's erase that one, and then save again, and then run. And as you can see in here, it's already being corrected, and then the correct answer is letter A, right? It's it never get an issue or error because we have correct the two of the requirements or the inputs that are needed are in line with a variable letter A. So what if we will create a string inside of this one? Could you say that it will run? For example, like 1. Could you say that it will gonna run? As I have said earlier, that this variable has a capacity only of one single character because there's no bracket. So as you can, we will try to run this one. So it says here that it says to give a warning that the warning character constant is too long for its type. So the type of this one cannot carry more than one letter. So it's a single letter only. But how can we be able to create strings on this, or more than one letter for this, so, or a word for this? So we only have to replace the letter C into S, and then we will replace this one and replace this word, and then we will delete this one because the syntax for the C programming language cannot be able to use that kind of coding that we have used earlier, that there are two calling of the variable. That the first one is empty, and then you have how you are going to create the value inside that variable, so it can be able to run. But this one, since we are using already the string, so we have to follow the syntax of the C extension, a C programming language. And then this one that I am typing it's the length of the variable inside of that is the size of the value inside of that variable rather. So the variable has a capacity of 10 strings, so more than that it cannot be able to print out those exceeding letters inside of that variable. So there's an error in here because there's no letter already, there is only a word, and that is how it is. And then let's try to save and run, and then as you can see in here, oh, there's an error in here because we already creating a string. As I have said earlier, that if this string, there's a double quotation already outside of that word. So as you can see in here, if you will try to run, and then it goes out just like this one, that it says here that the value of letter is apple. So it's no longer a letter, right? So we will replace that one and then use this one, and it says as the value of word is %s. So that is how we can run a character. And the question is, what about if we will not put something in there? So what will happen? Does the program will gonna run or not? So as we can say, it will gonna run because this one means it is limitless. So let's try, And as you can see in here, it says that the value of word is apple. So that means to say that it's a string, and the capacity of that is the range of that is so very wide that we cannot uh, create a string just like that, for it's too wide or too long. So that is how the character works. And now we will gonna create again and I'm so sorry. Little zero is not part of that. Okay, so now we are done in making character in single character in composed of more than one character. So we will gonna create integer data type, which is a number. So int means an integer, which is composed of numbers. So when you try to create an integer, you just go like this, name of data type, and then the same as what we have created a while ago with the number, and then also the name of the variable. And since its syntax is not the same with this string, so we can put the value later on inside of that variable. So we will call out the name, the number variable, and then we will create a 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and that's the value inside of that variable. And then as you can see in here, there is no string outside of this value, and the question is, why is that so? It's because it's an integer. If you will create an integer, you must not put single quotation or a double quotation, because it's an integer. So when you try to print out this one, so try to print this one, print f, and then the value of this word, a number rather, is %d. And then and as you can see in here, it's %d already, and it's not %s anymore. And why is it so? Because we are calling out an integer value, and the code for the integer value, checking its type, is it's a %d, and d means that it's an integer value. So try to name this one, and then put a declaration with that one, and then it's like this. Squiggles. 1 2 3 4 5. Okay. So the compiler will never understand this number 0 if you will create a 0 that on that value, because it's an empty, it's none, nothing, void. So it says it's an error. So we cannot put 0 at the first. So okay, so let's try to save this one and then run. And then as you can see in here, it says that the value of this number is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 0. So that is an integer. So that is how variable works. So this is all for now, I think. So thank you for listening and watching my YouTube tutorials, and I hope you have learned something new with this topic, and we'll see you soon in the next tutorials. And that's all, guys, and may you have a nice day, and then see you to the next tutorial. Goodbye.